Conservation Department's annual muster of Kaimanawa wild horses got underway on a calm, frosty morning in June. The horses live on army land in Waiouru, on the central plateau of the North Island. Doc says the land is fragile and home to many rare plants, which the horses threaten by grazing and trampling. The musters have been taking place for more than a decade now. Many of the same people have worked on them over the years.
Originally we started off, we bought horses, our own mounts here, but it was just impossible because there's that many little gullies and wet spots that there's only one crossing, and these horses would get there, and of course we had to wait and cross afterwards, so we were following the whole time. So then the choppers came on. From then on in, it's been all the mustering's been done with the choppers.
When they're mustered in from the range, they're running in bands, and the average size of a band is about 7 horses. So when they bring them in, they join several bands together. Now, put those several bands, each band has got a dominant stallion, put them into a yard all together, and those stallions will start fighting. And that's perfectly natural. So the first thing we do when they come in is draft those stallions off and put all the colts together. Once the colts are away from the mares into their own, all in together, then the fighting stops.
The herd's overall condition was not as good as previous years. Doc says that's because there have been droughts in the region, meaning less food for the horses. But they are still in better shape than they were in 1997, when more than 1,000 horses were removed.
How does the condition of the mares generally compare to the stallions?
Oh, the stallions are always miles better condition. They only have to look after themselves, typical males, but I shouldn't say that. The mares can quite often, you can strike a mare that's in poor condition, but when you really observe her in the yard, she's actually in foal, she's got a foal at foot, and she's also got a yearling sucking off her as well. So, large amount of stress.
240 horses were removed in this year's muster, and 113 of them have found confirmed homes. More than 100 will be heading to the abattoir. That leaves a herd of about 350 in the wild, but the mustering team will be back next year for more. Doc now wants to keep the herd down to about 300 horses. Rebecca Palmer for dompost.co.nz.